Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode, the Vauxhall Nova. Welcome back to Quartzlight. If you're new to Quartzlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. So a little bit of a look back in history, recreating a few memories, I'm sure. If you're interested in cars, car brochures, please consider subscribing. Today's episode is for the Vauxhall Nova, although really that's just a rebadged Opel Corsa A that arrived in Italy, Spain and France in 1982. We got the Corsa rebadged as the Nova in 83. And it was a bit controversial. We'll talk about that, why that was controversial in a moment. But we'll look at today's brochure. It's from 1990, so a little bit later in the production. It ran in the UK from 83 to 93. So this is 1990, so there's quite an extensive range at this time and quite a big brochure, so we better get on with that now. So here is today's brochure, quite plain in this sort of white colour really, isn't it? So the 1990 models, it's saying, Vauxhall Nova, and at the bottom here, the caption at the time, Vauxhall once driven, forever smitten. Not really a caption I really like. The word smitten is a bit weird, isn't it? But it's certainly memorable, and I certainly remember it in the advertisements, featuring the GTE here, but we'll certainly look at that in more detail in the brochure. So let's move on, because like I said, this is quite a big brochure. So here we go, inside the first cover now, showing the contents, and the main car featured here is actually a Nova SR, showing it as a hatchback, 3 and 5 door, as well as this saloon which you could have as well, here featuring a 4-door version. At the top here it says versatility and reliability. That's Nova. Pop into the city, go down to the sea, or take everyone out on a let's go see. That's Nova 2, 3, 4 or 5-door models, together with choice of engines, colour and trim, hatch or saloon. They're fun to run and easy to park. That's Nova, and certainly a very popular car in the UK, that's for sure, although kind of like later on in production it was getting a little bit old fashioned, I think. Not going to spend too much time on each page because like I said, this is a very big brochure and I really want to get to the trim levels more than anything. I think that's where the interest starts, but here it's showing, you know, in different levels. So here we've got a 4-door, here we've got a 3-door hatchback or saloon. Never been a big fan of saloons on small cars, although the Nova wasn't too bad actually, was it? It kind of like worked, but I think the hatchback was a better overall looking car. Next page is showing more like base level models, showing a 1 litre 2-door and a 1 litre 3-door. Yeah, you could even have the 2-door on that saloon. Base model cars here, though, they're very lowly spec'd, and we'll look at the specs in a bit more detail later on. The caption here is the perfect choice when shopping around, but let's move on. So like I say, this is your super base model, just called the saloon and hatch. So we'll have a look at some of these little pictures and some of these little notes of what you actually got on the base model. So it says more than you expect when it comes to space, comfort and features. Add fun to the drive, liveliness plus excellent economy. And these price leading Novas add up to great value. A little bit image of pretty much nothing, but at least it shows you how the Nova badge looked. Of course, manual windows. Look at those door mirrors. Here's the main image of the saloon. Like I said earlier, I wasn't really a huge fan of saloons being small cars like this, but the dimensions weren't too bad on the Nova. I did, like I said, prefer the hatch. I did mention as well at the start the Nova was quite controversial really. Well, the problem with the Nova was it was built in Spain. Whether you got the badged as an Opel Corsa A or it was badged as a Vauxhall Nova, it was built in Spain, and there was a big union dispute with British workers because of that, which lasted about 7 months. So unlike the other small cars available, or some of the small cars available in the UK, this wasn't built in the UK, and strangely it was still built, sold as a Vauxhall Nova, but nevertheless. So that was controversial for that reason, though. Obviously, the Vauxhall badge in the centre, that very, very basic dash, though, isn't it? Very plasticky, and a very basic interior as a whole, with the the body coloured metalwork showing in on the outside there. It tells us the features of this base model were grey Malaga cloth seats, fully reclining front seats, rear seat with 2 inertia rear belts, folding rear seat on the hatch, a speedometer with trip odometer, full width parcel shelf, 3-speed ventilation, radio with 2 speakers, tailgate push lock, stylish body side striping, laminated windscreen, heated rear window, drivers and passenger door mirrors, 2-speed windscreen wipers, locking fuel cap, tailgate on hatch that opens, etc, etc. So nothing out of the ordinary, but not too badly equipped really for a very, very base model. If we're looking at early 80s cars, they certainly won't have all these features on them. Okay, so the next model up was called the Merit, usually as a 1.2. It says at the top here, all things considered, it has many merits. So you can get it as a saloon or a hatch, 2 or 4 door, or a 3 or 5 door hatch. So more options. Usually as a 1.2, like I say, or you could get the 1.5 TD as a 3 door hatch. But let's move on and actually look at some of the features. So here we got the Merit, like I say, available as saloon or hatch, but again it's chosen to feature the saloon as a 4 door. Very interesting centre gaps with that huge Vauxhall badge on, which I think is probably worth trying to zoom in on. Very large, if the camera will just pick that up. There we go, really zoom in. Yeah, so they were a little bit unusual, weren't they? So what is it telling us about this particular model? Saying big car features at a small car price. Nova Merit adds all the niceties that make everyday driving that much pleasurable. So we've got Ronda cloth seat trim, full carpeting, full door trim, fully reclined front seats with adjustable head restraints, height adjustable front seats, etc, etc. Here's a look at that dashboard, still looking extremely basic, isn't it? So we've got a folding rear seat, full width parcel shelf, quartz clock now, digital radio with 2 speakers, twin sun visors. All the niceties. Red stripe to bumpers and body side protection mouldings, intermittent tailgate wash wipe, tailgate push lock, twin door mirrors, 5-speed gearbox on the TD, rev counter on the TD as well, 2-coat metallic paint optional. And there is a look at that interior. Now we've lost that sort of exterior paint on top there, but looking very grey, isn't it? So there we go, we've already done 2 models and we're only up to the L. So like I said at the start, quite an extensive range at this time. Available as a 1.2 or a 1.4, as a 4-door saloon, a 3-door hatch or a 5-door hatch. So main thing is we've got wheel trims. Woo, the luxuries. So let's have a look at a bit more detail of this model. So I think straight away my first impression is these seats look a little bit nicer for sure. We've got a split rear seat there. Looks like we can adjust the mirrors now from the inside. So a bit more of the feature we kind of like would expect for the 90s now. It says choice of engines and more than a dash of luxury makes the Nova L the natural choice if you're looking for a smart and easy to drive small car. Features, we've now got a mosaic velour seat trim. Quite nice to see velour on an L model, isn't it? Fully reclined front seats, height adjustable front seat belts, rear seats belts. So pretty much a lot of these is what we've already read, isn't it? We've now got a 3-speed heating ventilation fan, Philips digital radio, illuminated glove box and load lamp area, twin sun visors, carpeted, 5-speed gearbox, light on warning buzzer, internal adjustable driver's passenger mirror, 60/40 split rear seats, quartz clock, cigar lighter, flush wheel covers, coach line stripe, low profile tyres on the 1.4, silver stripe to bumpers, locking fuel cap, 2-speed windscreen wipers, intermittent tailgate wash wipe, and 2-coat metallic paint optional. And it'll make a lot more sense actually when we start looking at the actual specifications side by side, I think. So here we have the first of the more sporty models. The SR came only as a 1.4 3-door hatch. Now got these dark wheel covers and dark lower paint treatment. A little bit more sporty at the back there. I think these starting to look a little bit nicer, I think, in the SR trim. Bit more of your boy racer car, I guess. We'll turn the page and look at some of the features. So the SR hatch, let's zoom in on some of these pictures. It does look a little bit nicer, I think, the SR. I do particularly like this model, I must admit. So there it is, like I say, featuring them unusual dark wheel trims, bit of an SR badge on the front grille there, and like I say, that lower colour treatment making it a little bit more sporting. The dash itself looks a bit more sporty. We've got a rev counter now, a bit more of a sporty steering wheel, and it looks like a little bit of a nicer radio cassette player. We'll certainly have a look at that. I think there is another picture here of that. So certainly a bit more of an upgrade there. Seats themselves look a lot nicer, don't they? With these sort of bolstering on there, looking a bit more sporty. We've now got that paint colour coming back into it like we did on that very base model, interestingly enough. And at the bottom here we can see that sort of 5-speed gearbox and somewhere to keep your cassettes by the looks of it. So what did you get? It looks sporty and its character carries through to every well thought out detail, both inside the smart cabin and in the SR's engineering. Features include sport steering wheel, Ronda cloth seat trim, open head restraints, inertia seat belts, etc. 60/40 split seats. Sports instrumentation, rev counter, voltmeter and oil pressure gauge, quartz clock, cigar lighter, 3-speed heating, ventilation, etc. Security coded Philips DC670 stereo radio cassette player with 4 speakers, cassette storage facility, 3-spoke steering wheel, illuminated glove box and load area lamp, uprated sports suspension, sports front air spoiler and tailgate spoiler, anthracite coloured flush wheel covers with low profile tyres, green tinted glass and graduated windscreen shade band, 2-door central locking, internal adjustable drivers and passenger door mirrors, 2-speed windscreen wipers, intermittent tailgate wash and that 5-speed gearbox. So not too badly equipped really, the little Nova SR. And then we get this, the Nova GTE, you know, your sporty boy racer's car, or at least the boy racer's car you kind of like dreamed of having when you passed your test and just had a Nova Merit. Interesting car, came with a 1.6, only available as a 3-door hatch at this time. Nice little GTE badge in the centre of the grille there, colour coordinated, bumpers, door mirrors, etc. as you can see. Little GTE badge on the door there as well. Not a bad looking car overall, but let's look at some of the specs. I think the first thing you notice is his striped seats, bringing a little bit of a colour into quite a dull grey interior, I think. Rear of the GTE is this sort of nice sort of black area, again more GTE badging, these unusual alloy wheels. Interior wise, not a great deal. We've got a bit more of a sportier steering wheel, but still it's kind of like a little bit dull, isn't it really? I think these alloy wheels, would they have been optional extras, I'm assuming? We'll have a look, I guess, and see what it says. So we'll go to some of the specification. Blistering performance, tremendous road grip, and a suitably equipped interior make the GTE the definitive hot hatch with unlimited driver appeal. Laser cloth seat and door trim inserts, sports front seats with open head restraints. Yeah, we've got seat belts still. Yeah, we've still got a 60-40 split seat. Sports instrumentation with rev counter, voltmeter and oil pressure gauge. 3-speed, yeah, we got a fan still, yeah, whoopie-doo. Security coded Philips DC 660. Stereo radio with 4 speakers. Quartz clock and cigar lighter. Cassette storage facility. 3-spoke sports steering wheel. Close ratio now, 5-speed gearbox, uprated sports suspension, alloy wheels optional extra at additional cost. You know, we do have those lovely alloy wheels are extra. Standard are these white flush wheel covers to give that white all over look. We've now got electric front windows though. Body coloured front and rear spoiler, bumper and door mirror housing, body colour front grille and grey aerodynamic sill extensions, 2-door central locking, sliding tiltable glass sunroof with interior blind, internal adjustable door mirrors and green tinted glass. So that is the range in 1990. It goes on to tell us about quality begins with good design. Obviously far too wordy for us to read all that, and it continues on the next page also. A lovely little image of this sort of rally scene. I'm very interested. These Group A Nova 1.6 GTE rally cars. They're very interesting. And then we actually get the specifications. We'll certainly look at the specifications because it's easy to see what additional features each model has. Okay, so specifications. So we've got that standard model, the Merit, the L, the SR and the GTE, as we've just looked at. 2-door, 4-door saloons, 3-door hatch, 5-door hatch. So you can see on there the SR and the GT only available as a 3-door hatchback. It also gives you an idea of those seats, which we've already been through. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can certainly pause the screen at any time if you want to. Some of the fascia and instrument controls. As it just went out of focus, I do apologise. There it is, back again. Some more equipment, heating and ventilation and that audio equipment. And then we've got the interior lighting and the additional interior features. Remember, in order, it's the standard model, the Merit, the L, the SR and then the GTE. Then we've got the interior features continued for the various different models and mechanical. So 5-speed gearbox on the L and SR, 5-speed close ratio gearbox on the GTE. Then we've got the exterior lighting and the exterior styling. As you can see, a lot of equipment on that GTE with all those little bit extras of, you know, front colours being, you know, on the bumpers, etc. Aerodynamic sill extensions, etc, etc. So then we get the engines and the performance, starting with that little 1 litre 993cc engine, top speed of 89 miles per hour. The 1.2 or 1196cc, top speed of 95 miles per hour. The 1.4 or 1389cc, the L doing it in 104 miles per hour, the SR in 106. The 1.5 TD 1488cc diesel, top speed not bad, is it? 103, quite reasonable. And then the 1.6 1598cc, top speed of 117. Tells you the engine availability there. At 1.6, of course, only available in the GTE. That 1 litre only available as the very basic standard model. And then it gives you some of these sort of engine readings, torque, power on the various models. Some transmission information, the 1.4 on the 1 litre and 1.2, although you can get the 1.2 as a 5-speed as well. Bit of information there about anti-corrosion protection. The body, giving sort of drag coefficient figures, interestingly enough. Strange that the SR is kind of the best at 0.36, although those figures aren't really amazing, are they, by any stretch of the imagination. Some information on those wheels, the tyres, and then over the side here we've got a bit of information about the steering and suspension, brakes, load capacities, hatch cargo space, roof rack, and electrics. And then at the far side we even got some information about, well, we don't actually, I was going to say we have got some information about the colours, but it says it's in a separate brochure. I don't have that separate brochure, sadly, but we do have some weight information. Fuel economy figures, very interesting. Obviously that turbo diesel is the standout there, isn't it? It's constant 56, it's doing 70. Wow. Towing figures, interestingly, if you really do want to tow with your Nova, proof that you can do, you know. Your fold-up camper, you can be like Hubnut there. Towing with a Nova though in this case. Bit of an idea of some of the Philips radios you could get, and some of the factory fitted options that you could request. That optional alloy wheel, you could get that on the SR as well by the looks of it. 5-speed transmission, which you get optional on some models, standard on others. Sliding tiltable glass sunroof. Front window switches, that's if you option for electric. Green tinted glass. And that tailgate wash wipe. Further little options there, mud flaps, your roof rack with various different options, that unusual little towing mirror you could ask for, dog guard of course, etc, as well as many other accessories you could get. And then the back page over here is just telling us that they all can run, or all the petrol models at least could run on unleaded fuel. And we got a dealer stamp on this one actually. It came from Wadhurst in East Sussex. Wonder if that is still around today. And at the very bottom we've got a little date here. The brochure itself is October 1989 for the 1990 model years. So there we go, there is the badged Vauxhall Nova. I'm sure a few of you got memories of this car. A lot of first cars, or maybe your first sporty car, who knows, but love to hear your stories about the Nova, what you loved, what you hated about it, etc, etc. Jot that in the comments. I will certainly read and enjoy every one of them. But for now, we'll say thank you so much for watching Quarterlight today. Please do like and subscribe. We'll see you very soon. Take care and goodbye.